is I, my loyal subjects. It is Double O Black. The truth, so let it be told. Look, my loyal subjects. Look, remix here. I'm coming at you like this because we're talking about kingdoms. We're talking about kings. We're talking about queens. And yes, this is Double O Black from the truth, so let it be told. And so, I'm glad you're here with me because we all call ourselves kings and we call ourselves queens. But I thought we need to understand actually what it is a king and queen is even over. Because, if you don't have anything to king over or anything to lord over, lord is really landlord. That means you got to have land. He who has the land has the wealth. So I thought, since we're all kings and queens, you want to kind of like talk about what is a kingdom. Now, look, ladies, we need your help. We messed this thing up. Basically, we nigger rigged it. You know what I mean? Look, let me reverse this. When I came up, a man knew what his role was. It wasn't hard for a man to determine that he was a man because he had authority, he had respect, he had purpose, he had a concept of a man, he had an image. The man went to work, he provided, he protected, and when he came home, if there was any sort of controversy, the words he said, "This is my house. This is my house. I wear the pants in his house. I provide the food." What? Yeah, and that's where it was. A man knew exactly who he was. He had a sense of identity. He had that authority. Nobody questioned what the king said. When a man spoke, it was law. So, we had industrialization and the woman went to work. The man came home from war and the woman was working. So the kingdom that the man knew as being his kingdom was no longer his kingdom because the woman was providing the bacon. You know what I mean? She was providing everything in the absence of the man who went to war. So now the man's home. He's confused, going through a state of, I don't know. You know what I mean? And so the man doesn't know, and didn't know, and still don't know why he is in the state that he is. So basically, ladies, when I'm telling you we need your help, behind every great man is a great woman. Actually, you were created as a helpmate, whether you want to believe this or not. Look, I go back to the book of instructions. That's where I get my information from. I look at other resources also, all varied type of resources, different type of backgrounds, different genres, to make sure that we can present a message that might be somewhat credible to us who live in this microwave society. So look, we need you. We're out of place, and part of the reason is because we don't know who the heck we are. All right, so look, look. First of all, we got to admit that there's a problem in order to get the help. So I'm going to speak out here, and I know a lot of you brothers are going to hear this, you young kings. I'm a king. I'm already got everything together. Okay, good. Then this message isn't for you. But could you, men who are already in position, help us mentor these other men, us other young kings in training who are out of place? We need help collectively. You, me, us. We're all in this together. Remember, no man is above another man. No man has authority over another human. None of us do. So in this message, I thought that since we have identified that we need help, and we talk about we're all kings and we're all queens and we live in this kingdom, and I want to kind of like preface why I'm saying kings, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying queens, because in the beginning, the man was created. So let's think of a garden. If you got any gardeners out here, you plant a seed in your garden, out of that garden grows a tree from that one little seed. You know what I mean? And so that seed, and off of that seed, that tree, and then off that tree is fruit, and out that fruit comes more seed. So we can think of the man as sort of like a Johnny Appleseed. You know what I mean? He drops that seed in every hole he can find. Did you pick up on that? Well, that's what the man's been doing because he's lost his place. You know what I mean? He needs to try to get some kind of respect some kind of way. So if I can't get it here, I'm going to go over here. If I'm not needed here, I'm going to go where I'm needed. And so a lot of you women want to ask, why is he over there? He's taking care of 5 kids over there, but he won't take care of the one he got over here. I don't know. Do you know? Maybe he's not needed there. Maybe you treat him like he's not of any authority. Maybe you treat him like he's one of the kids. Just some stuff to make you think. Remember, this is upper level conversation for kings and queens. This isn't for everybody. Because I want you to be right here when we talking. We doing this, but I'm trying to get you right here. You know, so let's think about this. So let's talk about what a king is, what a kingdom is. So a kingdom in Webster's is a government or country headed by a king or queen. So in order to be a king or a queen, a monarchy, that means you have to be heading something. You need to be over something. So let's talk about, it also says the realms or reigns of kings. The kingdoms of this world have power under the sovereignty of the king. Sovereignty under what king? Well, in order to be a king, you have to be appointed. Remember, they put the sword on your shoulders. Okay? I appoint you Lord. I appoint you king. The mantle is transferred from one man to another man, from one king to another king. We just don't assume the position of a king. It's appointed. Somebody deemed you worthy, that you had that value. You had that to be a king. And they gave you the title. You don't assume the title or take the title. Somebody gave it to you because you have lived up to that standard. You know, sort of like when men used to die. They would say, son, your father's dying. You go and be a man. You go and be a man. You go and be a man. We don't hear that no more. Because maybe we don't have a lot of men anymore. Okay? And so that's part of the problem. But we need to understand what a kingdom is. So let me tell you, I went to the owner's manual. And you're going to hear me reference this a lot. We have to go back to the owner's manual. We done nigger-rigged some stuff. Okay? You can't handle the truth. We done nigger-rigged some stuff. You know when you put some stuff together and you got some parts left over? That means it's been assembled without reading the instructions. And we done did this stuff for too long. We done assembled our children, no instructions. We just think we can wing it on everything. And I call it nigger-rigging. Yeah, we done nigger-rigged it. All right, so look, now that we know that we done assembled stuff without reading the instructions, don't you think it's about darn time, my loyal subjects, hitherto, whetherfore, underscore, above thee, that we go back and get this thing right? What? Holla back. What you saying? No cap. All this other stuff we be saying. What does it really mean if we don't get the man back in place? We need your help, ladies. Remember, behind every great king is a great queen. You can't be a queen unless there's a king. Come on. We got to do this together. You, me, us, all of us. Look, so let me tell you what the owner's manual says about the kingdom. Something ruled, R-U-L-E-D, rulership in Hebrew, dominion, conquer, control, and subdue, royal dominion. That means you have a royal heritage, royal bloodline. You know, you ever thought that there was something special about you? You know, when you was coming up, did you feel special, like you had like authority? You know, just innate authority, innate royalship. You just felt like you was an heir to the throne. Well, guess what? We actually are. He's the King of Kings. We're joint heirs. All right? He's Lord of Lords. He's the Prince of Peace. You know, but unless you go to the owner's manual, you will not know the purpose that we were intended. So, look, when a king takes over a territory, let me tell you what he does. My loyal subjects, he colonizes the kingdom. The United States was colonized by England. The Bahamas was colonized by Britain. Several countries in Africa, several nations in Africa have been colonized by the French, the British, the Spanish, the Germans, you know, the Portuguese. And so what happens when you're colonized? You know, so the King of Kings, the king that we're under, colonized us. That means he changed our entire history. He brought us a new language, a new set of laws, a new edicts, stuff that we had to prescribe to and follow under that kingdom. He changed our language. He changed our entire culture. And so a regular kingship in any territory basically does the similar thing. They want to take everything away from you and give you what they want you to have, which is what belongs to them. Because when you're in a kingdom, you have no ownership of anything. You heard me? You own nothing in a kingdom. I mean, you don't own your house. You don't own your car. You don't even own you or your children. I can see you making all these faces right now. You ain't telling me I don't own my kids. Hey, man perishes for the lack of knowledge. We think we know everything. But look, if you doubt anything that I'm saying, I'm telling you, go to the book of instructions. You all got it. Don't believe nothing I say. We in this together. Remember, this is teamwork makes the dream work. There is no I in team. You feel me? So look, in this thing, kingdom, kings, queens, we got to make sure we got this thing right. So now I'm going to break down what colonize. When a king comes in, he changes everything. It's a colony now, right? It's sort of like your household. You know, when you walk in there from work, I don't know if you do that today, but it used to happen like this. Look, mama might have some kids at home. She got to go to work. She assuming the role of the king. But matter of fact, strike that. Let's go to where the king was in the house. Some of you might remember having households with men in it, and he was the king. I don't know, many of you may not. I know we're in the 21st century and things move pretty fast, but if you kind of rewind it, maybe you've seen it on TV, where there was a king in the household. Think back. Now, you young fellas, young bucks, young ladies, you may not remember that, but somewhere, maybe you might have to ask your mama's mama. Okay, because today we're just looking for baby daddies, baby mamas, and we ain't thinking about kingdom. We just out here. Okay? So we got some stuff messed up, but ask some of your ancestors. I know we can only go back 3 generations. Maybe if you can find your grandmother, ask her what a king in the household was. And this day, you may need to ask your great-grandmother. But there was a day when a man was running everything. I know you don't remember that. There was a man, a king in the household. So in order to be a king, you had to colonize your household. And look, I'm looking at my scrolls right now, my loyal subjects, so I could tell you exactly what a kingdom is. But before I say that, I want you to know, I used the word abdication before. It's Abdication. That's when a king leaves his high office, usually a kingship. What would make a king leave his office? Abdication? We've been abdicated. Voluntarily, involuntarily, we've been abdicated. Okay? So let me tell you what kingdom means. It's a government or country headed by a king. A government or a country headed by a king. What is a king? Well, I looked that up too. Let me show you what a king is. Wow. A king is a husbandman. He's to cultivate a group of people who settle in a distant land. And husbandman, I looked that up. I thought it was interesting when I looked up king, I found the word husbandman. So it's a male. It's a man. It says to do, to work, to serve, to farm. Like the man tills the land. You know, even if we go back to the book of instructions, which some of you may not even know what it is. I talked to a lot of people say they never even read the book of instructions, but we out here operating and not being used for the purpose intended. Have you ever operated machinery and never ever went to the book of instructions? Maybe to even learn how to start it. You understand what I'm saying? But basically, the book of instructions has a lot of knowledge. You know, it has a lot of knowledge. It has a lot of insight on how we're supposed to be operating. You know, like in your car, you wouldn't know that sometimes to put like unleaded fuel, premium, you know, or regular gas in it until you like maybe read the book of instructions. Maybe if your tires go bad, you want to buy tires, you go to the book of instructions. You know, if you got a problem with your car, you try to Google it, you go on YouTube, but you're always doing some sort of research, and that information which you find on these other platforms probably came from the manufacturer's manual. So how come when it comes to us kings, us queens, we don't research what we need to be doing for the purpose that we are intended? It was to rule, to take dominion, to rule over. But there's a certain order. So remember, we're talking about what is a man. Well, in that, we talked about the man being a king, the woman's a queen. So if you just tuned in, we're talking about what is a kingdom, because if you are a king or a queen, you have to be over something. So we broke down what a kingdom is. We talked about colonization, how a king colonizes his territory. And in that, I referenced the household being the kingdom that the man starts with. All right, and how he kings and rules and dominates and has dominion. Dominion over his territory. So some of you may not remember what a king is. And that's why I said go to your grandparents, your great-grandparents. Because there's got to be a reference of what a man is. You know, look, if we want to get out of this mess that we in, my loyal subjects, this is your king talking to you. And I command you, because kings command. So I command you to find out, my loyal subjects, whether to underscore, hitherto, therefore, over be, under be, you be, me be, we be. Find out what is a man. Ask your family lineage. Go up and talk to your friends. Do you remember when the man was in charge? Do you remember those days? I mean, wow. Is it really that long ago that we, the mailman, provided everything, protected, took care of the woman, the queen? All right? It's been a long time. So, this is just some upper level conversation for kings and queens. You know, so I'm going to end this segment here because we're talking about, what is a man still? Why is the man in the current state he is? So now we're talking about the kingdom that the man's supposed to be over. All to give us some contextual knowledge, a baseline about what we're doing or supposed to be doing. But Double O Black is going to end this segment to my loyal subjects. Okay, and I'm going to leave this edict, that's E-D-I-C-T, to you. So the question I want you to ponder is, what is the importance of a man in your life and your children's life? The man serves a purpose. He may not be in your life. He may be just called the baby daddy. But a man has a specific purpose. And I need you, ladies, our queens, the queens who are in the throne, who moved the man out of his seat, or maybe the man just moved voluntarily and you saw a vacant seat and you took it. I don't blame you, But I want to ask the question, what is the importance of a man? And we're going to pick this up on the next segment. Look, I love each and every one of you. And if you got some boys, all right, they need to hear these words from their dad. I love you, son. Some of you need to hear these words. I love you. I don't know you, but I'm going to say it anyway. I love each and every one of you because some of us have never heard the words, I love you. And a king loves all his loyal subjects. He takes care of his kingdom. He provides for his entire kingdom. He lays down the law. When a king speaks, nobody questions the king. And this is King Double O Black coming at you with edicts, laws. Okay? I'm laying down the law. All right? So Double O Black out. We'll see you at the top because the bottom is too crowded, my loyal subjects. Oh!